Welcome to Under the Hood, from Beyond the Bottom Line. This is where we step inside the company and talk through the real experiences behind the work. In today's episode, Miguel and Daniela take you through how their partnership came together and what it was like to merge their firms. Here's Miguel.
All right, so on this episode of Beyond the Bottom Line, we have a very special guest, my partner, Daniela Menache. And what we're going to talk about is our origin story, how we came together. She doesn't know what I'm going to ask her, so she's a little nervous.
Not at all.
But we're just gonna have some fun. But I think the chronology of the business we found is like really interesting. The people we work with internally, and then also clients. But let's go back to whenever it was we met. Now 2 years ago and change.
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So my question is, where were you in your business and life when we first met?
So where was I? I was a little frustrated. I was kind of capping out in how much I can handle myself with my team, but I was having a really hard time finding a tax manager. I think I had years of looking. So I was still doing final reviews on all tax returns. I was doing like 500 tax returns a year. Plus, we were also running our bookkeeping practice with payroll, our full service firm. So I was hitting point of, I'm done. I need to figure out what I want next, whether that be I had to either find a partner or sell the tax part of my business as options, or just tell my clients, like, sorry, I can't do this anymore.
And where were you personally that became like a necessary decision to make?
I just wanted more balance in my life. I wanted to draw more and kind of explore hobbies outside of work more. And I think I spent many years being okay working 12, 14 hours a day. And I hit a point where I'm like, I just want to work a regular week. I still love what I do, but I want to have more time for other things.
Yeah. So let's talk about kind of phase one of like where we came together, which wasn't a full-blown partnership. It was called the JV.
Yeah.
The idea of the JV was that you would do less tax work for those clients.
Yes.
It didn't exactly go as planned. I think we can be honest about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was good enough that we decided to fully fold in. So
yeah.
We can kind of start with the conclusion to kind of lessen the frustration of what happened. But I guess, what did we learn from that process of sharing a book?
Well, even if we fast forward to why we became partners, was not so much how the JV went, but us getting to know each other and our working styles and realizing that we had complementary skills and that we had been running businesses on our own for so long and being, the only final decision maker, and realizing that it was actually really nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of and share responsibility.
Yeah, definitely.
And having a partner means you can actually take a vacation.
I remember you saying that. And you have taken, here you are back 1 week from vacation.
Yes.
So we made that real. I'll share that I think it was good kind of having someone else lean into the team. So I had built a bigger team. In some ways, I kind of felt like I wasn't able to give everyone the one-on-one that I wanted to. And I just think one victory that I saw early on was that the team who did want to get more technical and wanted more support and wanted someone to like dive into the return with them and tell them exactly what they needed to fix, they were really happy to get that from you. Where I was a little more high level, I'd more work with the managers on like dealing with tough situations or upselling. So that complementary skill set, I think, really did come together.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then fast forwarding to like how we put the firms together, share a little bit about like what your concerns were and maybe talk a little bit about the process.
First, it's like, hey, what systems am I using? What systems are you using? What do we keep and what do we kill? What do we keep for a little while and then kill? It was essentially also a cleanup time. It was time to clean things up.
Yeah.
And essentially go through and decide what processes work best. And also culture-wise, your team was used to a specific culture. My team was used to a very different culture. So, we're kind of feel like baby stepping my team to being comfortable with your culture. And then you also kind of meeting me a little bit and us redefining what the culture looks like at our new kind of merged firm.
Yeah. I think the interesting kind of contrast that we have is like, I had experience in corporate, you built everything very intentional and nimble. And yeah, there was a negotiation of like, what do we keep and what do we kill?
Yeah.
We did like this interview thing where we had our fractional HR talk to everyone on your team. And I was worried that everyone would feel like it was like office space where they were being like interrogated, but it went quite differently. Talk a little bit about kind of how you felt about that.
Well, first it was cool to get someone outside of me to understand also how each person could grow and what they really wanted. And kind of now that we were a bigger team, we could create like career trajectories for people. And for me, it's always been really important to like, what do you love to do? I want people to grow and also enjoy their jobs.
Yeah.
So having kind of more of a platform, like a space to do that was nice.
Yeah. So what was your like initial reaction when you got the feedback, the outside, like this is who this person is?
It was actually pretty spot on. I had known some of these people for years and I'm like, wow, how did you get that? But that also goes to say our HR lady is amazing.
Oh, that was great. And I think like our like test of you, even though it wasn't like a formal test, was we had our summit and you came to that. It was really quite cute. Like there was a part where you were like arm in arm because we were in the JV at that point, with like Tao and like taking pictures. And then I think like all the girls, because we had a pool, but like the girls didn't bring stuff. So like you guys went to Target and ended up having matching sets to go in. It was like a t-shirt and shorts. It wasn't like anything. So it was really quite nice. I remember like looking over and you were having like a heart to heart with one of the tax managers. I was like, it doesn't even feel like she's, an outsider. So that was really cool to see. And now, of course, we do summits together. And we're on summit 3 together, if you count that one.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool. I'll also say like the cleanup was good because how often do we go through all of our subscriptions? Like as I'm saying this, I'm like, we need to do this again.
Yeah.
But we went through each other's subscriptions and we're like, you don't need that. Okay, fine. I'll get rid of that. Okay, fine. That's personal. I'll move that off. So it's kind of this process that I think a lot of business owners sometimes get this debt of carrying like subscriptions they don't need, or they've got something personal on there. And I think it was really helpful to clean all that up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And even things like our client contracts, having 2 different systems, having to move them to one was an opportunity to review our pricing, our contracts. There were so many things that we got to do cleanup on that you would look at less often. Yeah.
I think it is cool. Like it's generally been the case that when you clean up contracts, you do churn clients. But I think for the most part, we've churned the clients that, weren't really going to keep pace with how fast we were growing. So somehow we've done better top line and bottom line by reducing client count. And I think that was kind of a good process that we went through in cleaning up those contracts, figuring out who we want to work with, who wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
And we're still on that track. I mean, even now we're still getting contracts right. And so it takes a while.
Yeah, it absolutely takes a while.
So one of the things that you mentioned that you were looking for was a tax manager. And while the tax team has grown, and we've seen some tax managers between then and now, we're still looking for a tax manager. How would they know that this is the place for them to work?
First, it's someone who loves tax. It's like they're out there. There's people, and there's a little part of me that loves tax, but I think I love other things more. But I won't say that I don't love sometimes reviewing a return. Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's also creative in a way also, and you have to be able to zoom out and see a big picture and see how this connects with this. It's like a big puzzle. So anyways, if you love tax, that's number 1. Because if you don't love it, you're going to burn out. I'd say, also another big thing working with us is it's our culture, right? So, we're not expecting crazy overtime where we value work-life balance is super important to us. The remote kind of like I'm independent. I like to work from home. I like some flexibility. I respect also when people know their waves of like when they can really focus. I don't need you to sit at the computer from 8 to 5. If you're like, I work really well in the morning and then I work really well at night and I rather have like a longer break in the middle of the day, it's like I respect the kind of like waves people have, and someone that values that kind of flexibility, but is also super like gets their things done and is an owner of their own work. And I think that's what's most important for us is we need owners.
Yeah, definitely. And where would you say we are now as a firm? We're talking a little bit about looking for people. Where's your focus now?
I'd say a big portion of my focus is on understanding where we are as an industry in the time of AI, kind of understanding what clients really need and really working to create a service that feels valuable to them, like aligning with how times are changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you talked about waves of energy. Like, it's going to take self-awareness to know when you work best. When do you work best?
I work best morning, but not super early morning. I'd say late morning.
Okay.
And then I also work best, if I have a lot of work, I work best I basically described how I work best in the last question, which is in the afternoon again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.